Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic. I am loving this image in our puzzle today. So this got recommended to us a week ago or so. And it has revealed a gap in my Monty Python knowledge. I will explain in a moment. Don't forget that on Patreon, loads of good stuff going on. We've got Simon solving Fistamafel. We've got me solving the crossword, the very hard crossword that we do each month. We've got all sorts on there, Sandra's spring pack. But coming up on the 1st, we've got a new bit of wondrous content, a puzzle hunt that you will love. Sudoku by Blobs. It's just brilliant. You won't believe that pack when you see it. That's my view. Anyway, that's on Patreon. Of course, on our apps, you can get all sorts of puzzles, including, of course, line Sudoku. Lots of German whisper there. Maybe not any one puzzle with as much German whisperage in it as this puzzle, but there's also Domino Sudoku as well with dots. And do check out all the apps, but also our merchandise and Sven SUDOKU PAD. And that brings us to the first link under the video. So this is by Ollie Wright. The person who recommended it, whose name I have forgotten, I'm sorry, said that they recommended it for me especially, so that I could read out the information about the Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch. Now, the gap in my Monty Python knowledge, I have seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail, but it probably was 30 years ago since I last saw it, which is embarrassing, and I don't remember much about it. But I have learned now that in Arthurian legend, the entrance to the cave of Caer-Banog is guarded by a fearsome creature with a vicious streak a mile wide, later revealed, I believe, to be the rabbit of Caer-Banog. And I should have known this, partly because we've done a puzzle called the Rabbit of Caer-Banog before. It wasn't this one. It was, I don't know who by it. It was in a Skunkworks Patreon pack. Probably the Trick or Treat one in October. Check it out. There was definitely a puzzle called the Rabbit of Caer-Banog in it, with an image of a rabbit in it, and which was better than the rabbit image in my spring or Easter puzzle. But anyway, it wasn't maybe as scary as this rabbit that we're seeing. Anyway, so I looked it up, and apparently Michael Palin says, he quotes from the scriptures that apply in Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and Saint Attila raised the hand grenade up on high, saying, O Lord, bless this thy hand grenade, that with it thou mayst blow thine enemies to tiny bits in thy mercy. And the Lord did grin, and the people did feast upon the lambs and sloths and carp and anchovies and orangutans and breakfast cereals and fruit bats and large chalupas. And then he gets interrupted, but carries on. And the Lord spake, saying, First shalt thou take out the holy pin, then shalt thou count to 3, no more, no less. 3 shall be the number thou shalt count, and the number of the counting shall be 3. 4 shalt thou not count, neither count thou 2, excepting that thou then proceed to 3. 5 is right out. Once the number 3, being the third number, be reached, then lobbest thou thy holy hand grenade of Antioch towards thy foe, who, being naughty in my sight, shall snuff it. So that's the scriptures about the Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch. And 5 is right out when you're talking about German whispers. You can't put 5 on a German whisper line, so that is the whole point. 5 is right out. So I don't know whether this is a deliberate mashing up of those two things. Anyway, Ollie Wright has created this puzzle, and I'm going to do the proper rules now. Normal Sudoku rules apply. 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Adjacent digits along a green line must have a difference of at least 5. This is the German whisper rule. So you could put 1 and 6 here, or 3 and 9, but not 3 and 7. Digits separated by a white dot, i.e. this pair, are consecutive. Digits separated by a black dot have a ratio of 1 to 2. Not all dots are given. So it's just normal rules, basically. But there's a lot of green real estate here. So have a go at the rabbit of Cappleman-Lynes. He does look fearsome. He's got one lop ear and one straight one white eye and one black one. It looks like General Woundwort to me from Watership Down. But anyway, let's get cracking. Okay, so there's a lot of green, especially in the central box. Right, I'm going to canter through the normal things I tell you. We've just mentioned that 5 is right out. 5 cannot be on the green line anywhere because there is no digit that can go next to it by the rule. Now, the numbers therefore alternate between high and low, and I'm sure I will in a moment be colouring them accordingly. And high means higher than 5 and low means lower than 5. To maintain the difference, they alternate as we go along any green line. And finally, 4 and 6 are quite hard to place on green lines, because if you have a spot like that where its two neighbours see each other, you can't put 6 there because both of those would have to be 1, and they're in the same box in that case. So those monogamous digits 4 and 6 must be in cells on green lines if they appear there where their neighbours don't see each other. Now, this central box is absolutely full of green, but not only that, it's full of green cells where their neighbours do see each other. All of those I've highlighted. I mean, basically, given that they're in a continuous line that goes round and round, that must be the case within the box. And that means 4, 5 and 6 can't appear in any of those. So 5 and 6 appear in those cells, but 5 never appears on a black dot. So we're handed this fairly straightforward start, I think. We fill in the rabbit's spectacles straight away. I don't think it really takes us forward very far. And now, though, I am going to do the highlighting of alternating digits on these lines, which is a very full process, is how I would describe it, because there's a lot of digits on these lines. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that makes sense. Those two, that. I think we've got them. That's one set. I don't know if they're high or low. I'm going to make them that shade of green. No. Yeah, I am going to make them that shade of green. I'm going to make all the other digits, of which obviously also alternate on the line, I'm going to make them all purple. Yes, interesting how the lop ear and the ordinary ear mean there's a little bit of lack of symmetry at the top of the grid. So it's not just the white and the black dot that are providing symmetric change. It's this ear and that ear. I don't know what I'm talking about now. Right, I don't like this green colour. I'm changing it to yellow. There we go. So yellow and purple are our two colours. One is high and one is low. We don't know which is which. But we do know that we can see all the yellows in row 7, for instance. I'm sure there are many more 4 counts around. Well, there are. There's 4 in row 5. Anyway, those are all yellow. This sees a 5, so that must be purple. And that provides us with all the purples in column 4, so the rest are yellows. This might be a good method of progress. We'll see where this takes us. As I say, we've got 4 yellows in row 5, so a purple and a 5 go into those cells. Don't know how to pencil mark that, really. It would be lovely to know where all the 5s in the puzzle go, but I think we're a long way short of having any information about that. I'm not spotting the other groups of 4. Oh, 4 yellows. Right, this tells us, yes, this column now tells us what colour is what, which is great. This digit is seeing all 4 yellows, so it's clearly purple, and therefore purple is low, and purple can turn blue magically, and yellow can turn orange. And we now know that orange is high and blue is low, so that is a 1-2 pair. These are 1, 2 and 3, so whichever one is a 3 is surrounded by 8 and 9. There could still be a lot of optionality to deal with in this puzzle. I'm not really sure. And maybe I need to focus on cells where extreme digits can go. Oh, that's quite interesting. Right, the orange extreme digit, therefore, sorry, the 6, I could colour those givens, couldn't I? The orange 6 in this row can't be there or there. So it's in one of these cells, surrounded by 1s. But I was going to say that helped decide where 3 was, but actually I'm not sure it does. Now, this is high. Can that possibly be 7? No, because it has 3 digits there that all see each other. So that is 8 or 9. If it was 8, this would have to be a set of 1, 2, 3. I don't know. I want to keep finding places where... Oh, we've got all 4 blues in that row. So those 2 are orange. Maybe I'm just missing stuff. Let's have a think about this. So in this row, one of these is blue and one of them is 5. Oh, we had all 4 oranges. So one of these 2 is a 5. And the same here. So that's an X-wing of 5s. There must be a 5 in one of those cells in column 3 and another one in column 7. So for the rows that they're in, they will definitely provide the 2 5s. So these cells are either blue or orange. So is that one. And that's not blue because in this column we've got all 4 blues. So that's orange. These are obviously I could have done that another way. These are obviously a blue and a 5. To make up the count in the columns, these are also a blue and a 5, and will provide the 4th blue and the 5 in row 6. So these 2 are orange and are the last oranges in their boxes. Obviously there's a 5 in one of those cells, so now 5s are beginning to form patterns in this puzzle. If that was a 5, yeah, it doesn't make an impossibility over here. I just wondered if it might track round. Where does 4 go in this box? That's nice, a nice question. It can't go there or there because they can't hold monogamous digits. Their neighbours see each other in the box. So 4's in one of those cells and is the last blue. But because I don't know where 5 is in the box or the row, maybe that's not helpful. But that's a 1, 2, 3 set. I mean, yeah, now I know some things about high and lowness. I can actually fill in a few 1, 2, 3s. That's interesting in row 2, for instance. These can't be monogamous. So 4 and 5 are in those 2 cells. Now we know which way round they are. That is helpful. That's a 4. That's a 5. That is going to sort out all our 5ing issues. And then we get a blue there and a blue there, obviously. This can't be a 3 anymore. There's a 4 here, so this is a 1, 2, 3 set, which doesn't preclude this being 8. These are in fact from 7, 8, 9. Now we said one of these is a 6. So there's a 1 pair either there or there. So this can't be a 1. Now this must be a 2 or a 3. Yeah, that doesn't help. But one of these 2 that I've just filled in now is a 7. So that can't be a 3. Because otherwise 3 would be next to 7. So that's a 2. This is a 1, 3 pair. This is a blue cell that is a 2 in the row. And that's a 1, and that's a 2. That's a 4, and that has to be surrounded by 9s. Excellent. Then there's a 9 in one of those cells. It's not in the low digit, which is a 1 or a 2. So it's there. 2, 4, 5. Right, this middle row needs... we got a 1 there and not a 1 here. So that's not 6, and that is. And this is a 7-8 pair, but 7 can't sit next to 3. Oh, we're away here. This is good. Now, that can't be a 3. So we've finished box 4. That's now 8. 7. I didn't think it was going to be 8, even though we'd proved it could be. We can't put 3 next to 7 again. That is so often the deciding pair. Now I've finished rows 4, 5, and 6 completely. Rather to my surprise, but certainly to my pleasure. Those can't be a 3. So we've got 6, 7, and 9. This can't be a 6 because of the 2 it's touching. So 6 is in one of those cells, and that must be a 1. So that's a 2. That's a 1, 3, 2. Some of this is... Oh, and we get a 3 in the corner. The count shall be 3 in that corner. There it is. 9 in the box has to be there. 3 must touch 8 and 9 when it appears on a line. This is 7 because it can't be 6. Wow, I mean, this is just filling in now. It's a very clever puzzle, and it took quite a break in, but I think it's getting easier now. That seems to be a naked 9. We can't put 6 next to 2 on the line. 7, 6, 9, 1, 2, 3. This is 4, 5, 8 up here, and that one can't be... Oh, the middle one must be a 5. It's naked. It sees 8 and 4 in its column. That I've marked as high, so it's got to be 8. That's from the stuff we did down here, where that is 6. This is 7 or 9, but I can't possibly write 7 there, because all these 3 digits can't be 1 and 2. So I'm putting 9 in. That's become a 2. These are 7, 8. We seem to be obeying the rule satisfactorily throughout. That's 1 or 3. This is a 7. That fixes 7 and 8. Shall I finish off the colouring, or shall I remove all the colouring? Which one threatens you more? Me not finishing it off or me removing it all? Don't know. Anyway, 6 and 9 down here. Oh yes, they are decided by that 9. So this is an 8. That works fine. 7 and 3. I really don't think I need to do much more that has any cleverness about it. And you'll be saying you didn't do anything clever yet at all. And it's a fair point, honestly. 4, 9, 6, 1, 7. But I mean, I really like the shape of the puzzle. I like doing puzzles that aren't all that hard sometimes, because not just because I like doing them, which I do, but because it gives everybody a chance, which is always good. 6, 9, 8, 7. So we've got 2, 3, or 5 here. Well, it can't be 5. This one is 8, 7, 5, 3, 9, 6, 1, 2, or 4. That actually, I bet that is going to be a 4 since it can be on the line. Now, what have I missed on the line? 7 mustn't connect to 3. That's what I've missed. So we actually don't really need to do any thinking particularly. That's become a 3. That's 1 or 4. Okay, let's do the rest of the colouring. I know that'll please some people. And let it never be said that I'm afraid to pander to the audience. So those are definitely orange. Then we can do a count of these cells and make that orange and that blue, and that will actually help me finish them off. So the blue one is a 1, orange is a 5. I've no doubt I could have seen that more simply by Sudoku means, but I think we're finished now, and I think I see that the only white cells left are the 5s, which is what I was aiming for. But we can't properly see the rabbit once we've coloured up the puzzle, so now I am going to remove the colours. Oh, we get that up again, and there is the rabbit of Cappleman-Lynes. It's a nice puzzle. It has a very nice start, I think. I mean, I tumbled to it very quickly, how the eyes worked, and the rest of the puzzle came together very neatly. I actually took maybe a minute longer than I should to have identified that 4 helped colour the whole grid, but we got there. And it wasn't a slow solve, it was a fun puzzle. Thank you for watching as always, the Rabbit of Caerbannog, and we will see you again for more Sudoku tomorrow. Bye for now.